Hello, I'm Czardus. Grab some coffee, sit back, and chill as we build in Planet Coaster 2. Welcome back to River Rush Resort. Today, we are going to be extending the park, but you can see I've been busy off camera. I made this look a little bit more like a hotel. I envision it being like a 3-star hotel, and then I also revised the front entrance a little bit. You can see everybody's going in over there, but we also have this fountain, which is a let's see if I can find the blueprint really quick. So that is the Dancing Fountain by Ryan, and you can see that is where I got it. I also got a few other things that I thought looked cool. We do use the guest services resort, and I think everything else you've seen already, but let's go and take a look a little bit more. Over here you can see we've got the I took away the railings on most of this. I need to do that over here still too, but then I added a little bit of a food truck area here. I added, just some greenery and stuff like that, and then of course we have our fountains in there. Okay, so now another thing I've been doing is working on a scenery brush, and we're going to take out that stuff because I like this look better. And I've got 2 scenery brushes. I have one for the reeds that I've custom made, and you can do that by going to scenery brush and then go to create new brush, and then you can create a custom brush with whatever you want. And I've done that. We've got 2, like I said. We've got the reeds, and I want that to be a pretty small brush that we just do right along the shoreline here. And that's just going to, first of all, kill my frame rate because we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on there. But if we have that on both sides of this creek or little river that we have going, then I feel like that's really going to make it feel more realistic. And then we'll get the river side, which is a bit of the lower plants and ferns and stuff like that, and that will be on the inside, or like a little bit further from the water. And then we'll use the built-in temperate trees one, which is this one, temperate forest trees, and that will just come along here and really blend it the rest of the way. I'm going to keep it on ignore the scenery, and then like that it'll really give us a feel for this river here, and I think that'll be really nice for setting the scene for all of that. So I'll do that off camera here in just a moment and fill that in. Oh, I also have been adding a little bit of rocks to our waterfall here so that it looks a little bit more realistic, and I really like how that is coming together. So for now, I'm going to do a little bit of the scenery along this river, and then we'll continue. All right, so there we have it. We've got a nice looking river through here, which really gives the namesake to, or like the name to the park, is a little river rush. Of course, the water appears to be moving slowly, but that does give us a bit to work with here, and now we can start figuring out a little bit more of what we need. First of all, we need to check on how many, yes, I want this. I want to go to staff. I want to see how many mechanics we have. We have a lot of janitors, lifeguards. We have a lot of mechanics. They should be going and working on the stuff that people are complaining about, but anyway, now we want to figure out what to do next, and I think what I want to do is work on getting more of the main street in here, while also checking on, okay, yeah, we could get a wooden coaster going pretty soon too. Just want to think here. I don't think we need any of the research stuff yet, but I do think I want to get our main street in here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to. I think I do want to go up the hill. So one thing we've got, okay, yeah, Bump and Derby needs somebody. Come on, mechanic. Staff. No, here, operations. Maintenance, that's what we want. Emergency call. Somebody come here and Do it. And also, let's go ahead and do a refurbish there. Get that back up to date. What are we at, by the way? Are we... Prestige. It's still a new ride. I'm surprised the condition got so low. But anyway, we're going to get some more of our Old Town or Main Street in place. And one thing I've done is I've come in here and I made a facade that we can use for a lot of this. We're going to go ahead and select this. And that should be everything here, just like that. Confirm selection, and we want to duplicate. And then we're just going to come over here. And if we rotate it, we can get this like right in here. And then we'll be able to just add more and more of it as we go. And we can just come in here, get this right in place, like right up against the other one. Double check the view, that looks good. And then we can just build it straight along the hill. Yeah. So I'm going to do that and just go all the way down here and get our shops in place. And then we can adjust some of it with the hill in just a moment as well. So now looking at this, you can see that we are either the buildings are crooked, which I think is less likely, or the path is crooked, although the path was made differently. But anyway, we're going to come in here and we're going to take out the path and redo it. So we can do that, and then, yeah, we want to take out the extras too. Just take all of this out, and then we'll redo the path here, which actually we could do with just editing the path. And what I want then is we're going to come along here, we're going to edit, customize with this texture, but I do want to take off the rails. And what I want is actually, I think what we'll do, I wonder if I could make this, the terrain a little bit better here. What we're going to do is flatten to foundation here. We're going to get a smaller size. Bring this along like that. Then I want the next one to be at that height, although that probably a little bit lower. A little bit lower yet too. I just want... Actually, what we could do is we could adjust the buildings, but what I'm hoping is to get a tiny bit of a slope after the door, so that the door and ideally the window too actually would be good, because I plan to have shop fronts out there. Although maybe what we'll do is we'll have the shop inside the building. That would probably be the best way to do this. Let's do that. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're flattening to here, which means if we do that, then we can smooth. There, that looks good right there. That is all good. And then what we can do is we can try to smooth here so that we can get a path there. And we can always adjust the building a little bit too, but let's try and get the path in there next. So now the path is in place, and I just edited each node, but then I also tested, and I was able to make a path that's super small here. And of course the door is really small as well, so we might have to change that a little bit, like edit the building and have it go up a bit like that. And then what we can do, we have that there. Then what we can do is we can come in here and edit this, and I can get a lot of these to be a bit lower, or maybe we keep them there and we just duplicate this and have that, like, have another piece underneath like that. Yeah, I think that would be okay. But maybe, I mean, what we could do as well is come in here, and these are individual pieces, so I could come in and have each piece come down a tiny bit. It'd be a bit tedious, and I'll have to do that off camera, but that would work. And then what we can do is we can come in here and we can get some shops. We're going to go to shops, actually create custom, because we don't need anything fancy in here, but we can get a gift shop. Let's get a Haps Fantastic. We don't want to be editing the building. We do want to like edit this one. So what we'll do is we'll come in here, Haps Fantastic. It's connected to this building here, and we can just put, actually, we don't even need the whole thing. We can just put a counter in. And that just built it like that. Okay, so let's come in here. And what we'll do, let's bring, where do I have a path? Here we have a path. We also have a very weird terrain. So we're going to come in here, and I'm going to delete that path, and we're going to fix the terrain really quick. So if we come in here and we want to flatten to foundation, we're going to flatten this out just inside the shops. And then let's find the next flat piece, which is here. Flatten that. And the next door is here, so we'll get up that flat. Okay, so now we've got a few spots here. That door is on a hill, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But we might be able to make that work, because we don't need a ton of space, so we should be able to come in here and bring this out like that. Actually, let's get the stamp tool now and just stamp a tiny plaza inside there, which will be the shop. And then we can come in and we can edit. Where do we have a node here? Here we've got a node. We're going to bring that over to the doorway. And we'll bring this one over to the doorway. That one wants to disappear. I want both of those then. Like that. And then we should be able to get both of these and just bring it tight like that. And then the same thing here. We need a new node in there. Let's add a node about there. Oop, no, I didn't want to draw. I want a node in here. There we go. I drew a little piece, and then we should have some nodes here that we can come in and edit now. So if we bring this over like that, oh no, that got, oh no, there's still a node here. Okay, perfect. Then we can come in like that. So now we've got this entrance, and I want to bring this one ever so slightly that way, just to give it a little bit more space. Now we don't need a ton in there, because now we can come in here and we can get our Haps Fantastic counter, and we can have it like this. And I'm not going to have anything fancy in here because it's behind the facade, but that gives us a thing. And then we can come in here, although maybe what we'll do is we'll come in here and move this a little bit more that way. Should be open. Come on. Go and work there. There we go. Thank you. Okay, and then we can come in and we can just grab Haps. Okay, create custom. And remove any filter. We don't have a filter. Here we go. Haps Fantastic. Get a sign on here. Oh, we could get one of these out here. And I want this to snap to the building. There we go. Haps Fantastic. How does this look? That looks really cool. Put that right there. So now we've got a Haps Fantastic in there. And we have our first shop. Now, at some point, I will add roof things on the sides, but you can see that coming along. Now, to decide what we do next. Okay, I decided. The next thing we're going to do is get a wild log flume over here. And it's going to be, it's a tracked ride. And we're going to create custom wide log flume. It's going to be for all ages. And we're going to get the station in here. Now, we are going to have it, let's see, we'll go at, turn off the snapping. I want it to be over here. And it's going to be pretty close to the the front or the path here. And what we're going to do is have a little bit of a, the word I'm looking for, a Wild West theme to it. Now, for now, we want to go straight. I don't want it to be that long. I want it to just go a tiny bit here because we need to turn around. So we're going to go this way and then turn around again. And hopefully that leaves us enough space to work with for the pathing here. We're gonna actually, let's go this way. That'll give us the space we need, and then we can go up here. So I want this to go up, conveyor belt. And is that as steep as we can go? What the? Oh, that's a hill end. Okay, we want to go mid-section here, and then we can go up higher. There we go. Yeah, about that high. Okay, a tiny bit higher. It's really going to be just one fall. So we're going to come in here, and we want to turn, but I want this to be shorter. That's as short as we can make it. We're going to turn here. Yeah, 90 degrees. Do I want it that high? I like it. Yeah, we're going to keep it like that, and then we're going to start going down. We've got splashdown. Okay, we're going to do this. That's going to drop like right towards the station, though, so I don't think that's quite the angle I want. I want to come back here. We're going to come down like there. Oh, we could do like a slight drop there. I wonder if we can do that here. While turning, we can. Look at that. So we can gain some speed. And then we can turn that angle. And then we're going to go down. And that is going to be a steep fall. Or like as far as we can go here. Do that. Nope. Okay, I want a splash end here. And actually, I want this to be a little bit lower. Because I want it... nope, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Okay, I want it to splash onto the path. That is really what we're going for here. So we're going to go about there. And then can we get... How low is that? That's too low. So we've got our splash end... there. We're going to have to take the path out, I think. That's the end we want. We want that, and then we want a nice big here. Yeah, okay. Then that. And then we're going to turn... Hey, end of day report. Look at that. We made 866,000 in a day on hard mode. Leave a comment what you think about that. But yeah, anyway, then we're going to come in here and we're going to turn. So hopefully we slow down enough there. But we'll come along like this, and then we're going to curve, and hopefully autocomplete's not available for this ride, so we're going to have to try to figure this out on our own. That doesn't quite line up the way we want it. Will it work? I don't think... Okay, so that's the problem we're going to face, is trying to figure out the right size here. We can curve a little bit less. And then come around. I might have to do some of this off camera. We can't go up. It's off as well. Alright, so I got this in here. And now we can hit done, and we're going to see how the test goes. And then go from... Actually, we want more... We want a lot more logs in here. As many as we can get. Wow, we can get a lot. Okay, let's say 18. And then give it a try. Alright, the test is coming down. it did slow down as much as we needed to, so that's good. It's going to come around here, and it's going to take a while for the test results to come in, but let's see. It won't show that. Ah, shoot. I hit stop, so now it has to do it again. Okay, so it had kind of bad results, and I think a lot of it is because we have so many trains on there. So we're going to bring that down to sips, because that will make it go faster. So we're going to let that test go. It should be automatically testing that. It'll take a moment. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get the entrance and stuff like that. So we want the main entrance over there. Then I want to make sure that we have a priority pass. And we'll get the entrance for that here. And then we can get the exit. No, it doesn't want to go on there. Okay, let's move this over here. Then we have space for the exit. Okay, then what we're going to do, look at that, it's got that test going. What I want is, let's go ahead and connect the path. So we want the queue path. And what style are we using for queues? Do we have, yeah, we have some. How about this one? We've got, here, let's copy the texture. There we go. Now that we know what kind we want, we can come over here and get our path in. And I think what I want, actually, before we do that, let's come in here and we're going to get this one, and we're going to get it up and over the thing. So we want to go up. And I don't want to have, can we do that? Or are we, actually, nope, that's not what we want. Undo. We're going to try that again. We're going to do a path. And we want suspended. Though I think this one can be ground. We're going to go up to about there. And then I want suspended. We'll have a bridge over here. And I want supports. We've got railings and supports. Very good. Coming off here. And that has to be level, ideally. Here, let's take out this path over here first. Okay, so now we've got this bridge, and let's see, do we get splashes up here? We do. We get just a little bit of splash there. I like that. And how did our test result come out now? A little bit more exciting. So that's good. I wish that it went a little bit faster. We don't have the opportunity to change the speed on that. If we did, it would show up here on the track section, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is now get this path in here, and hopefully we're on the correct type. We are. So now that we've got that in there, what I want is let's bring the entrance. We don't have a ton of space. I think we're going to have to work over here. And we can do suspended here, and then we're going to go down to the ground. A ramp. Like that. And then we're going to bring this back in here, and we're going to get some pretty long paths. Whoop, we want to be automatic now. Here. Undo that. And this is going to curve all through here. And then we'll bring it in over there. Then, for the fast pass, we'll do the rustic. And that is going to come down to the ground like this. And go right to over here. And then for the main one, we'll get this down to the small size. We're going to do a wooden, come on, wooden, there we go. And we're going to bring this down. And then we'll switch over to the flagstones, because I think that's what we've got here. Actually, that whole thing could be wooden. It all ended up elevated. There we go. So now we've got that, and we need a power facility. We're going to do a simple little power distributor. We'll actually tuck it back down here. And then connect that really quick. So now that should be working. Let's go ahead and open it on up, and then we can decorate it. So first of all, we're going to set this to bargain. No, not that low. Well, we're making plenty of money. But we will change the priority pass to high. So that will do that. That will get stuff coming in there. And then, of course, we do want to change our scenery. We want to go in here. First of all, I'm going to look to see if we have a nice ride scenery. Viking. Actually, I don't mind that. If we bring this down like this, that's kind of nice there. Bring that up a little bit. And over. Gotta move that entrance just a tiny bit. But this ought to do really well. Yeah. Let's pause, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to close it really quick because we need to edit this entrance. Yeah, I want to move this one. How do I do that? There we go, that'll work. So now we can open it back up, and then that'll work. Then what I want to do is we're going to just use that same, we're going to do Viking theme for the rest of this. Although I wonder, should I try to build this into a mountain to make it feel like we're coming down a mountain? If I do that, then what it would look like is like this mountain here. Scenery lock should be on. It'd be up like this. Actually, I kind of like that. So I'm going to do some more terrain work to make that happen here. And just kind of get a mountain around here. And then we might be able to fit a lazy river somewhere too. I wonder if the lazy river could come right through there. Yeah, let's see what I can do. All right, so this is what I've got. We have this mountain rock in here, and the log flume goes up this way, goes through some trees, turns, and comes down and splashes the pathway. Then we also have a little bit of a pond here that it kind of appears to go in a little bit, but it doesn't really. And then it comes around this way and makes its way back. And then the other thing that ended up happening with this whole design is that as guests go in, this is the regular path, they go in here, and I need to add some lighting. So I am going to come in here and we're going to take this out, and then I'll add some lighting. And okay, so now we've got some light in here, and we've got the light here, which didn't add a whole lot, because if you put this on deactivated, you can see it didn't really add much. But I put it in here so that it really kind of adds a little bit more. You walk through this like cave coming through here, and then you can see the other path, actually the rest of the path there. And from here you can get a little glimpse of the splash, but only if you like jump at the right time. But anyway, I really like how that turned out. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm pleased with that, and I wonder if I can get another Viking thing in here. If we go to scenery and then get like a Viking theme thing in here, let's do scenery theme Viking. Could get like one of these, yeah. That just kind of adds a little bit to this whole thing here. And then also, if we could get this a nature scene. Yeah, I don't know. That might be just a little too much. But if we go here now, the testing, it is pretty popular. People are very happy. We are making money. Let's change this to waterpark, and now, no, it still doesn't have anything. We do custom, and then, yep, all right, well, whatever. We're making money, and that adds a nice ride in there. Let's get another flat ride in here. How are we doing on flat ride research? We have a lot now. Let's do a tower. Maybe. Let's research that, and then we can come in here and see what we can do with a flat ride. Teacup, no. I want a tower. A tower ride. We don't have a Viking theme one. Let's see what I can find. Okay, I found this. Resurgence Viking theme. So it'll have the Resurgence Tower in there. It's by Marcus, and we're going to subscribe, like, and favorite, as we usually do. And then we're going to come in here, and we'll get this. And I think it would be a good ride to have in here. So we're kind of getting into a Viking theme area here. And in fact, maybe we even put this back over here, so we get a little bit more the area there. If we do that, I like that. So it feels even more like as you go this way. I mean, we've got the mythology thing that's kind of pointing towards this area a little bit. But then we come in here and we get into a Viking theme. But we do need another power facility. No, we shouldn't need a power facility. Do we not have enough power? Is that the issue? Let's come into our generators. They're hidden in this building. Right about here, right? No, that's water. Where is power? Here we go. Power available, 0. Well, yeah, that would be a problem. It's not a new distributor. Let's copy this, and we have the path there, and we've got a path coming this way too. Okay. Duplicate that. Here, nope. Okay. Facilities, and we want a power generator. Put that right there. And then, of course, we want to connect it with our power line. Like that. And that should be on already. And now we should have power over there. Okay, so now let's get an entrance. So we have, this is the exit. This is our entrance over here. Go ahead with Q. Come in here and copy that texture. Make sure we're doing the right type. And we're going to bring that around this way. And again, it's going to be a pretty long path. Bring it right over like that, and then we can get a path out this way as well for our exit. Yeah, that should be good. And then that, we should be able to just go ahead and open that right on up. Let's go ahead with the bargain. And I don't think we have a priority pass entrance for this one, so it's not going to be on the priority. Yeah, there's no way in with that. But that, again, I feel like that really adds to the area in here, and we're going to do, actually we'll switch to temperate park trees. Get a little bit in here just to fill the gaps a bit. Of course, it doesn't want to go in the little bits in there, so we'll come back and add a little bit, but this really just fills in the space here and will allow us to spread out a little bit. So if we come in now, I want to come in and we're going to copy a few trees as well. We duplicate this and then we come in here and we do have align to surface. Yes, I want that one. I don't want stick to surface. Come on, I want it. Okay. Let's try that again. I don't want it rotating. There we go. I mean, curving and stuff like that. But let's get some of these trees in here, because they can fit the gap a little bit better here. And they can really... that was the wrong spot. they can come in here and they can really fit in between these pathways. So we've got the meadow texture on the ground, which I think really helps with the scenery as well. It gives a nice vibe. And then we've got a whole bunch of these poplars in here, which I feel like I should get a little bit more variety in there. Let's go in and see what we can get. I want create custom. We want nature. And again, we want to get nature region. We want temperate. And then we want trees. So I'll try and fill some trees in here really quick and just get a little bit of a better look to this area. There we are. We've got a lot added in here. I like that now. We've got this nice ride in here. And as you're walking this way, you can see the tower way up high. And then you can also see this here, the log flume coming in and really just adding to that whole vibe. So I like that. Now let's get our lazy river. So what I'm thinking with the lazy river, okay, so the path now goes around like that, so we can't really do much in terms of getting it through there, but we could bring it along here and maybe extend the mountain over it. I think that's what I'd like to do. So let's come in here, create custom, and I want the line builder because we're going to get a lazy river in there. And I want it to be shallow. And then extras, I want to add the water jets on both sides. And then repetition should be good. Yeah, there. Let's get the rotation. Oh, let's just set the rotation the way it was. And then we can come in and we'll go a little bit wider. Yeah, about that wide. And what I want to do is we're going to come in here. Also, I want edge type to be infinity for now. So we're going to come around like this. That might be too shallow. Yeah, too shallow. We're going to redo this. Waiting. That feels more like a lazy river. We're going to come along like this. Bring it out over here. And then we'll bring it back like that. So that is our lazy river. It's not super big, but it will be the right, like a good size, I think. So a couple of things we need to do. First of all, we need to get a path here. So what I'm going to do is come in and copy this texture. And then we're going to just draw it. And I think merge off is what I want. I can never remember. So I build it and then we see what happens. Perfect. That's what we want. We want an entrance here so people can get in there. And then actually that might be all that we need. Clean this up a tiny bit here. Yeah, let's fix this here. Actually, I might need... I need a way for the staff to get somewhere, like to the back. Also, we're going to come in here real quick and get this mountain over the pool. So now we've got this hill. The lazy river goes through the mountain. Maybe we could even get a waterfall on there. Or at least some water jets. But we do need to get some lifeguards on here. So if we double click and then, nope, that's not what we want. We want pools, pool extras. Pool extras, clear any filters we've got. There we go. We're going to get, first of all, a lifeguard here. Right there. So he can go on the path. That's going to be the problem. We need to get another path in. I wonder if we do a staff path. If that will work. At some point, we might want to get more of a path or like a pool over this way. I want this to be really narrow. But if we bring this staff path over here, and then bring the staff path there, can we get the pool extra here? I want him to be facing the other direction. Because I really would like him to be watching the pool in there, but wait. No, he doesn't want to go there. He can go there, but not over here. Okay. Well, okay, we got the prestige, or the safety rating up to 76, which, you know, it's not the best, but it will work. We're going to come in here, and we're going to get some water stuff now. I want a water... I could get a water jet here, spraying people. Let's make sure that is working. No, you see, this is not what I want. A nice sprayer. Here we go. And then what we'll do is we'll rotate it like that and get this in the pool itself. So now people kind of get wet as they go through, and then we'll also put in a waterfall. We want the waterfall top. Here we go. And I want that to be up here. We're going to go ahead and go like this. And, well, no, I think that is just too unrealistic. I mean, it doesn't quite work there. What we'll do instead is get a bubble. Oh, the bubbles are pretty cool. But I think the fountain, this is what I want. And what we'll do is we'll have it on here. And it's going to go all the way across. We're going to get a bunch of these. And also, I just realized the way this water is flowing is the opposite of what I thought it was going to. It's going to go counterclockwise, which means they come through on this side. So what I'm thinking with this fountain, by the way, is that as... Can I get this? Why is the camera not going the way I want it to? Come on. Okay, so as they're going through this way, they're going to get wet. But I didn't do it all the way across, so anybody who doesn't want to get wet could try to navigate to the other side. But that's the idea. And now what I want to do is actually come in here with our scenery brush, and we're going to get the forest trees in here. Turn it to ignore the scenery, and can we get it in here? There we go. Just to get, you know, a tiny bit more foliage in here, because foliage always adds to a park. Get a little bit more over this way too. And what I want then is, let's turn off avoid paths, because then we can get really close here. Yeah, that tree obviously can't go there, but it can go there. So now you've got that lazy river going right through there. Prestige is 529, which is actually better than the swimming pool. So we should see people go over and use that at some point. The prestige on this one is really good, the wading pool, and then they've got the flumes there. I feel like this park is really coming together. But also, let's come in here, and we will go back in here to scenery theme and get a little bit more, actually. Let's do mythology over here, because the pool area is kind of intended to be more mythology themed. So what have we got here? We could get... No, that's not quite what I want. That's a little too much too. Just trying to get something... Okay, this is going to be too much too. Just trying to find the right thing here. I wonder, okay, this is gonna work. So they have to go this way. But what I think we'll do is we'll get this in here. And then what I want to do is try to split it. Let's bring it up a little bit. We're going to do that, and then we're going to edit. And I want to get all of this side, or at least this stuff that's in the water. We're going to move it to the right. And maybe it's a dumb idea, I don't know. I want the grid size smaller, and then we can move that to like an actual wall here. Actually, just take the whole piece out. So that works there, and then this can go up and in a tiny bit more. And then these plants can just come out all together. Yeah, I like that. So it feels a little bit more like it's built in there. Okay, now the next thing we want to do... Actually, we've got people coming in here. Are they going to go around? Oh, now it's raining. They're not going to want to go in. But anyway, that will work for now. And let's see. Anything else we can get in here? Mythology themed scenery. It has a little boat. But I feel like, I mean, that would be really great in a little pond. And I'm trying to decide if we're going to get more pools in, which I think we should get some more flumes out this way, because this whole thing is supposed to be like a water park. So I don't want to put that giant thing in yet. But maybe this goes in. Well, no, that... So I think what we'll do is we're going to get a couple things in here. This is going to be a shop set, which actually I kind of want it to be another like changing area. So we'll come in here and get that there. But first, let's go and get a changing area in there, and then we'll put the scenery around it, I think. No, you know what? We'll do this. We're going to come out this way, and we want blueprints, buildings. That was this one. We're going to put that there, and then we're going to edit it by going to facilities, and we want guest facility, or not entrance, services. There we go. Body dryer. Yes, add it to that shop. And put it there. And then a changing room there. And then we can take that out. That out. Stone market front. Okay, so we're going to come in here, scenery, and go to custom stone market. And we just need this. That's too low. I thought maybe that'll work. What if we... No, not that one. Do that, and then we can come in with a wall. 2 meters. 1 meter. And put that in there. And there. Actually, maybe 2 meters would be the one we want. Let's go back in and get that 2 meter one. There. And there. Then we can take this whole building and move it. And it's all connected. So then we should be able to, snap it right in there. Right like that. So now we've got more facilities here, which should increase prestige as well. Yeah, just a tiny bit. But both of these, swimming pool 1 and 5, are now a little bit more improved. They do need power though, so let's go ahead and get a power facility in here. Need a distributor. And we'll hide that behind building. Just go connect to that one. Okay, so we've got a little bit more going on there. And then can we get another something in there? Got to get that theme again. This is Mythology in here. This is just a build. I guess that's... I kind of like that. It's kind of scenery, but also kind of something else. And it kind of fits in here. Got the hill going through it, but also that feels kind of nice. We're like, maybe that's not the hill. Yeah, it is. But we do need to move just a couple things here. Like this rock can go... I wish it wasn't snapping. Go a little bit closer to the others. And then this plant here can move. Now I want it to stick to the surface. There we go. This one can move as well. Put this one over here. And then this rock. Let's put that hidden behind here. There we go. So now that raises this prestige even more of this one, but not the other one. But this is coming together. I am happy with this. So you get this building here, which will also kind of hide the staff building there, but continue to add to the mythology feel here. And then also, like, people can go by here and they'll see that. I like that. And then on this side, we'll end up being able to have the path come out this way to lead to something further. Then I want one more building. Let's put this one here. And it should really feel like that. And maybe, you know what? We could get a shop in this one. There's space for a shop. Yeah, let's come in here. We're going to go 2 shops. And I want... Actually, let's do services. Look at a guest services building in here. Let's add to the mythology building. I want to get it right in there. Can I see a little better, please? We go down to this level. Where is my shop? There it is. Rotate that way. Right there. Then come in here and get a path out of that. And I want stamp. I wish I could get it. There we go. Right there. And then one more there. So that should be connected. It's not. So we can come in here and then we can edit. I'm going to edit this one. Bring it like that. So that is now connected. So people can come in here and we can open this. And people can get into the shop there. But let's add, I'm going to add a sign to the outside really quick. All right, so I added this sign here. And then I also added signs over on this side. Now, it's really crowded over here because everybody's trying to go in here to get their pool passes because we have a whole bunch of prestige in this pool now because of these 2 buildings, or, well, and that one. The lazy river has pretty good prestige too. Nobody's really using it as a lazy river, but that's okay. I feel like it looks realistic, and that's really what we're after there. So then we've got guest services there, and they're both very popular. But I think part of that is also, it was just raining, and so I think, yeah, they can get umbrellas there. So I think that's part of it. But anyway, I'm really pleased with the progress we made today. We, really did a lot. We got the river going nice. We got this log flume. We got this ride. We got the lazy river, and we worked on the main street, or the main street area as well, which is going to be really nice. I don't know if anybody has used our Hat's Fantastic spot. Yeah, no guests today, but that's okay. At some point, we'll get people walking through there. We'll get more shops in, and that will make it more popular, and maybe we'll figure out what to do in there as well. But I'm really happy. I hope you are as well. Be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts and click on the video on the screen. It should be the next episode if it's out. If not, then it'll be a different Planet Coaster video that you will enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.